Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Bet you're wondering why we're out of water. It all started about 100 years ago.
It's the year 2017 and we still have all 4 seasons. Everything's so perfect. But in 100 years from now, this will be no longer.
I love the summer.
I love the springtime.
The weather is so nice.
This is our future. This is 2150.
In some areas, there's extreme flooding, as you can see.
It rained 36 inches in a day.
I lost my whole house. It all went away in the flood.
My whole family died, and I can't find any food.
Oh, the water is contaminated. Look. In other areas, like this over here, there's extreme drought.
I'll wipe it off.
I haven't had a drink in weeks. I'm not going to make it much longer. Hey, Dr. Bear, why is all this extreme weathering happening?
Hi, I'm Dr. Bear, and I have a PhD in earth science and climate change. So climate change is confusing. For decades, scientists have said that more CO2 means higher temperatures, longer dry spells, and bigger storms. But ask them whether global warming causes a heat wave, or a drought, or a hurricane, and they'll explain how hard it is to untangle whether any single event is due to natural variation or climate change. 200 years ago, Lyndon B. Johnson received a warning about the effects of climate change, the first of many issued to U.S. presidents. Since that day, climate study has been focused on the large-scale effects current and predicted of greenhouse gases. Those predictions, higher temperatures and stronger storms, are familiar now, but strangely missing was any formalized way to look at climate change in the opposite direction, to identify a particularly nasty weather event and ask whether it was caused by humans.
Why is our water unsafe to drink?
Well, me being an ecologist, Dr. Bear, here in the year 2150, humans and other animals haven't taken care of their waste, especially human waste. Human waste is full of dangerous bacteria that can hold disease like cholera, typhoid, hepatitis, polio. And when waste is not properly managed, it can come into contact with skin, water, insects, and other things, like us, animals, that ultimately transfer the bacteria to the human and animal body where it makes us sick. The most common illness associated with poor sanitation is diarrhea, and we get dehydrated and die from it. And in the end, it's really a death sentence for all the animals here in 2150.
With such advanced technology, why can't we have water?
Well, governments just don't want to invest any money in creating facilities for clean water. Or they say there just isn't enough money to make a costly endeavor to make water treatment plants. Therefore, water remains in the place where it is, untreated, and the human waste factories keep polluting the water. And people who need the water and animals who need the water just keep going without it. And it isn't very safe because surface water is much easier to pollute than groundwater, and that's where all the pollutants go into.
Why isn't there enough surface water for everyone to drink?
Well, when surface water is used up, there's really no way to restore it. Rivers, streams, and lakes often dry up and there's no way to restore them. And these freshwater sources dry up often. And when they start to recede, the risk of pollution becomes even greater. And as more strain is put on the surface water sources, the water table continues to dwindle. And pretty soon, countries will desperately in need of fresh water that just isn't there anymore. And this is a problem facing countries all around the world.
Mr. Bear, how do weather events such as El Nino affect extreme weather?
Well, the main forces behind the natural disasters have been to natural weather cycles such as La Nina and El Nino, and also a massive high pressure system known as the heat ridge that had parked itself over the U.S. for many, many years since 2017. But there is more to the story, and in 2017, each year climate is going up, and each year we go through the worst drought in history. And it wasn't bad luck that caused these disasters. It's global warming. Global warming causes these disasters. Since 1970, average global temperature has risen, and primarily because of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. This adds to additional heat and increased chances for severe heat waves, drought, and other forms of extreme weather. That's it.
Mr. Scientist, why are sea levels so high in the year 2150?
Global average sea level rose roughly 8 inches just in the 21st century. The average annual rate of global sea level rise has accelerated by 90% up into the 21st and 22nd century. The the east coast of the United States is no more, and the Gulf of Mexico is gone because it received some of the world's fastest rates of sea levels in the years prior to 2150.
So then, what does rising sea level have to do with global warming?
Well, me being a climate scientist, Bear, I know that rising temperatures are warming ocean waters, which expand as the temperature increases. The thermal expansion was the main driver of global sea rise for 200 years since the start of the Industrial Revolution. And though industrial waste is shrinking, the shrinking of land ice is accelerating. In fact, here in the year 2150, land ice is almost completely gone. Land ice, glaciers, ice caps, and ice sheets are shrinking at a faster rate in response to rising temperatures, adding water to the world's oceans. As the rate of ice loss has accelerated, its contribution to global sea level rise is more than half of the total increase since 2008, and about 80% of the total increase from 2017 to 2150.
Well, what can we do to fix it? Can we reverse it?
Well, even if global warming emissions were to drop to zero in the year 2017, scientists would project that still another 2.6 feet of global sea level rise by our year 2150. And alas, people didn't stop giving off emissions in the year 2017, so we've had up to 6 feet ocean level rise. In other words, it's too late to fix anything now, but if 100 years ago they had stopped, then maybe things would be different today. Recent data indicates that the rate has nearly doubled in recent years, and the rate of magnitude of loss of ice sheets are primarily in Greenland and West Antarctica, and that has the greatest effect on long-term sea level rise.
So what does rising sea level have to do with us living creatures?
Well, rising sea levels has caused shoreline erosion and degradation. Rising sea levels allow waves to penetrate further inland, and even during calm conditions, increase the potential for erosion, and amplifies storm surges. Coastal storm surges and high winds push more water inland, and then when there's on top of elevated water level, it reaches farther inland and could even have catastrophic damage on your homes and infrastructure, and permanent inundation. And many low-lying coastal land areas are expected to be gradually submerged by rising sea levels. Here in the year 2150, Florida is already almost fully submerged. A rise of 2 feet above 2017's sea level cost us $100 trillion of property damage. Extreme weather, rising seawater levels caused by climate change, and not enough water due to pollution by humans have led us to where we have become today, here in the year 2150.
Man, I wish people before us had taken care of our Earth so that we could enjoy it today.
And that's how we ended up here in the year 2150, where all my friends are dead.